Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Game Plan. This time we're going to talk about SPM and more specifically about why you should care about it and how you can increase it. Before we start, a little side note. This guide is based on Conquest mode on console because that's what I play. I can imagine some things don't fly for other platforms or game modes, but the general gist of it should still be the same. So with no further ado, let's first look at why you should care about SPM in the first place. SPM is literally your score per minute. That means it's the rate at which you earn points in the game. There are two main ways of earning these points. First, there is your in-game score. It comes from in-game actions that earn you points directly, like kills, flag captures, and every other action that is followed by blue text and numbers showing up in the center of your screen. Secondly, your award score is based on your career progress, for instance, X amount of kills with a certain gun or X amount of support actions. They show up as ribbons, medals, and service stars. You can have a crappy game, but if you happen to do that last revive for your revive medal, then you suddenly have 10,000 points for one of your worst games. So which is more important, in-game or award score? The answer is in-game score, by far. For the simple reason that a high award score will naturally follow a high in-game score. So instead of focusing on specific situations or loadouts that get you that 10,000 point medal, just play with whatever loadout or strategy suits you best, and the medals, ribbons and stars will follow. Now you still don't know why you should care about SPM, right? It's simple. You only get points for doing meaningful actions in the game. Actions that help you and your team. So SPM is a direct measure of how much you're helping your team per minute. What's more, DICE intended it that way because the amount of points you get for an action is directly proportional to how useful your action was. For instance, a full flag capture is 450 points, while killing enemies is 100 points per kill. That means that a flag capture is worth roughly 4.5 kills. Yet to make it more interesting, killing someone in the flag zone gets you 125 points per kill. Why? Because it's more meaningful to kill enemies attacking or defending a flag than to have skirmishes at the edges of the map where there is no objective. So, you should care about SPM because it's a direct measure of how useful you are to your team. Additionally, a higher SPM means leveling and unlocking items faster, because both levels and unlocks are based on your score. The higher your SPM, the faster your score increases, the faster you level and unlock new items. But now, the real meat of it. How to increase your SPM. Most players, especially the ones bothering to watch videos like this, will know all the actions that will gain you points. I'm talking about using the support skills of your class, playing the objective, getting kills, spotting, giving and following orders, etc. If you don't have this info, scour the forums a little and you'll figure it out in no time. What I want to focus on is not the S in SPM, but the M in SPM. What does that mean? It's score per minute. So to increase it, you need to do more meaningful actions faster, all the time. Basically it's about speed, prioritizing and multitasking. Here I'll give you the 7 basic guidelines I use to earn points fast. First, you should always either be running for an objective, taking an objective, or engaged in a firefight. Do not hunt down enemies you see somewhere in the distance. It's a waste of time unless they're flanking out of a spawn camp, but maybe you actually want that. More on that later. If a chopper or tank is destroying your team, ask yourself one thing. Can I take him out quick? If not, ignore him and take the stealthy route to the objective. Spending your time targeting tanks and choppers that kill you over and over again while you could have been flanking and taking objectives is a waste of time. And no, you're not letting down your team. No one gains anything from you investing 2 minutes or more in taking out a vehicle. If the vehicle driver is that good and you take him out anyway, he'll probably camp in his spawn till he has his vehicle back. That takes him less than 1 minute and you're back with the same problem and still no flags. 3. Use the selector back button. If you're a leader, give orders with it. All the time. If you're not, spot enemies. All the time. If you haven't pressed that button in the last 2 minutes, you're missing out on a constant source of points, as well as denying your team valuable information and direction.
Enemy tank spotted, over. I spotted an enemy machine gun. Over. Hostile tank spotted. Over. Get your med kit.
4. Use cars to move around quick. Don't use tanks for this, it cripples your team if you ditch a tank as a glorified one-time taxi. When driving a car or tank, always press the stick to move faster. Get used to driving this way all the time. Five. Every class but engineer has an area-based support skill. Medics have health packs, support have ammo packs, and recon has tugs. Be sure to have these equipped. Then whenever you're at an objective, place them. Get used to running for an objective, and once you're in your position to take it, throw out your support item. All the time. Even if no one seems to need it. If your support item is out there at all times, close to objectives, you'll be getting little point presents every now and then, sometimes with a big spike. There's no loss to it, only gain, and your teammates will be quite grateful for the health packs, ammo packs, and tugs scattered around. 6. Consider switching teams if your team is overpowered. This might seem counterintuitive, but think about it. If your team is overpowered, that means the opposing team is probably going to get spawn trapped. That means all your teammates are vying for the same few kills in the same area, and there are no objectives to take. If you switch teams, you can try and break out of the spawn camp and get the game going again at full speed. To maximize this strategy and keep it the most fun for yourself, wait with switching teams till the start of the next match. That way you can lead the charge with the weaker team and maybe create a balanced game. 7. Get better. Both at the functional aspects of the game like aiming and vehicle control, as well as the strategical aspects like flanking and anticipating enemy movement. It's an obvious tip and not something I can expand on here, but I had to mention it because of course your SPM will increase as you improve your skill with all the facets of the game. So to recap it all, SPM is equal to the rate at which you perform meaningful actions. You should care about SPM because it's a direct measure of how useful you are to the team. You can improve it by constantly being engaged with proactive actions, not getting distracted by overpowered vehicle users, spamming the select or back button, smart use of vehicles, frequent use of support items, not being in a spawn camping team, and improving your general skill at the game. Lastly, in no way do I mean to imply that people with a low SPM are bad at the game. You can get a low SPM from experimenting with different gameplay styles, goofing around, or simply enjoying a slower playstyle. All of that is fine, and if you've done that in the past and you want to increase your SPM now, it is going to be a long journey. To get a better sense of progress, go to BF3stats.com. Look up your gamer profile and select the History tab. It will plot your core statistics over time and give you a more motivating perspective on your progress. I hope all these tips helped you out. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, or maybe even subscribe. Thank you for watching.